do you remember about 9/11?
9/11, the day that happened was very, very traumatic for the whole country, obviously. It happened early in the morning, right as school was beginning for the day. I was in my car driving my daughter to school, and I heard on the radio that a plane had, crashed into one of the Twin Towers. And then I remember walking my daughter across the crosswalk, and the crossing guard said, "Did you hear about the plane?" I said, "I have. I need to go home and find out what else is happening." And then I took her into her classroom. And by the time I got back to my car, another plane had hit the other tower. And by the time, I actually had to go to work the day, by the time I got to work, one of the towers was, collapsing, and then the other one collapsed. And it was very, very, it was a nightmare. It was like something that you would never think would happen on our soil.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people died. Over 2,000 people died. Air travel was completely halted. So when you would go outside, it was really eerie because you couldn't hear the planes. It's really strange when suddenly they weren't there. You couldn't hear, it was like quiet. On the news, you could just see it over and over again. They kept replaying and playing it over and over again, that the buildings falling and people screaming and debris everywhere and clouds of smoke, and it was horrible. It was just, one of the most terrifying things ever. People took their kids out of school that day. I didn't do it because I figured schools in Dallas were safe, and I wasn't worried about our safety, but it was happening around the Capitol and big, parts of the city of New York, where the markets were. They were they're trying to attack the heart of the country. Dallas is not the heart of the country, so I wasn't worried about our safety. I was worried about other things going on. It was very scary.
One last question. Is there anything that you think I should know that I haven't asked you yet?
Yes, I think that we kind of alluded to it a little while ago about the education of my family and my family dynamics. Only the boys went to school, and so for a long time, even though I knew when I was in second grade that I might want to be a teacher, I didn't know that I could actually do that because I was a girl and girls in my family didn't go to school. So it took me a while to go back to school, so I eventually did go back to school and I became a teacher. And I also went on to get my master's degree. So I really overcame that stereotype. There are stereotypes and family dynamics and family ideas that can be broken. And I'm proof of it. I really want to stress that education is very important.
Thank you for helping me with this interview.
You're welcome. They really didn't show it a great deal of interest in politics, but they did vote for all the Republicans except for, they weren't that good. Can we start again?
Sorry. What did you and your siblings do when you went to church?
We worship God.
Mom. What did you and your siblings do when you went to church?
Every Sunday we would go and just praise God. That's how old I am. Stop it.
What do you remember about the Gulf War?
The Gulf War? Which one? And
Stop it! How old were you when the Gulf War was happening?
I wasn't. Jeez, I don't remember. Maybe early 20s, 19, 18. I don't know.
1918.
19, 18, 20.
And what do you remember about 9/11?
I was a little bit older. Obviously, I was older when 9/11 happened. My oldest daughter was in kindergarten. I was taking her to school one day. That would be.
What is wrong with you?
My oldest daughter was in kindergarten. That would be you.
And one last question. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think I should know?
No.
Think of something. Okay.
Stop that from me. That's funny. No,
Last question. Is there anything you think I should know that I haven't asked you yet? Thank you for doing this interview with me.
It didn't start.
It's been a pleasure.
It didn't. I pressed the button.
Thank you for helping me with this interview.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you for helping me with this interview.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you for helping me with this interview.
You're welcome.